Euro C1 Webset Listening. Task 2 Making Notes. Questions 5 to 7. Listen to a travel agent talking about a town in Australia called Coober Pedy. The talk will be in 3 parts. Before each section you will be asked a question. While listening, take notes which help you answer the question. After each section you will hear the question again, and then you will have 2 minutes to write each answer. Each question is worth 3 marks and seeks 3 pieces of information. The recording will only be played once. Write your answers on the answer sheet. Question 5. What is the significance of the following numbers? 1915, 95%, 24.
Let me begin with a short introduction to the town and its history. The modern-day Coober Pedy deservedly lays claim to the title Opal Capital of the World, as it is currently responsible for producing a staggering 95% of the world's total output of opal. The town is located some 845 kilometers north of Adelaide, in the middle of the great Australian outback. It is surrounded by an inhospitable, stony, arid landscape that is littered with the evidence of earlier mining activities. Opal was discovered in this region more by accident than design. A prospecting company were fruitlessly searching for gold, and it was only when they had set up camp that they came across pieces of opal scattered on the ground. That was 1915. And since then, the fortunes of Coober Pedy have followed the boom and bust nature of the industry. A settlement on the site quickly followed to capitalize on the discovery, and in 1920 it acquired the name Coober Pedy, an anglicization of the Aboriginal Cooper Pita, or white man in a hole. Construction of the Transcontinental Railway was completed in 1917, which provided an invaluable link to other trade centers and paved the way for demobilized soldiers returning from the First World War. However, the beginnings were inauspicious. The nature of the environment meant living conditions were incredibly austere and demanding. Water and provisions had to be carried great distances under very trying circumstances. The construction of water tanks in the 1920s resulted in marginal improvement, but water was still rationed to 24 gallons a week.
Question 5. What is the significance of the following numbers? 1915, 95%, 24. What is the significance of the following numbers? 1915, 95%, 24. Question 6. What are the 3 things that make Coober Pedy a unique place to visit?
The 60s and 70s were decades of unprecedented growth in Coober Pedy, accompanied by a huge influx of European migrants intent on making their fortunes. Today, the town is home to upwards of 45 distinct ethnic groups, making it one of the most ethnically diverse communities in Australia. This is even more startling considering that the town has a population of only 3,500. The town has an undeniably cosmopolitan atmosphere and celebrates its cultural diversity, which appeals to any visitor. It is also a unique experiment in tolerance and acceptance at the institutional level. The desire to retain traditions and customs has served to shape much of the education syllabus. These different values have filtered or have been deliberately incorporated into the normal school day. The climate is typical of desert regions and has been the impetus for a number of innovative solutions. The most remarkable among these must surely be the development of luxury underground homes that often surpass modern-day living standards. Underground living in Coober Pedy goes as far as to embrace most facilities expected of any town, but below the desert. Visitors marvel at underground churches, shops, hotels, and even camping areas. Although the population is relatively small, it is spread over a vast area. This has meant that Coober Pedy has been blessed with one of the best public bus systems in the outback, whereas other similar-sized settlements suffer from underfunding. Coober Pedy is one of the last protectors of the principle of noodling, whereby ordinary people may share in the wealth of mining. This involves sifting through the waste material left over by the mining process for pieces of opal. This is the only place where you don't require permission, and one of the last where you're likely to find anything. So, if you're visiting, don't miss this chance to make your fortune.
Question 6. What are the 3 things that make Coober Pedy a unique place to visit? What are the 3 things that make Coober Pedy a unique place to visit? Question 7. What are the 3 advantages of being a homeowner in Coober Pedy?
Life in Coober Pedy is inextricably bound to its surroundings. It's impossible to escape the endless lunar-like landscape, which has been the striking backdrop for a host of blockbuster films. Needless to say, there is ample opportunity for outdoor pursuits, and Coober Pedy boasts everything from a successful drive-in cinema to a top 10 golf course. there are other associated benefits to the town's desert setting. Obviously, there is unlimited scope for development, and there aren't the same pressures on land use that are experienced in the more developed coastal parts of Australia. Furthermore, government restrictions and red tape operate at the bare minimum. Consequently, it's remarkably cheap to lease or acquire land for residential use. The residents of Coober Pedy have profited from this and often buy 3 or 4 adjoining plots, with the intention of transforming them into huge underground mansion-style homes. Living underground also means that you can escape the extreme temperatures of the desert. Bored into the hard rock, the underground rooms maintain a comfortable, even temperature in the mid-20s throughout the year. In marked contrast to city living, the natural air circulation found in subterranean spaces renders air conditioners and heaters unnecessary. These factors ensure that the cost of living is easily manageable for the people of Coober Pedy. Even the recurring problem of how to supply fresh and clean drinking water has proved to be surmountable. Residents now receive an excellent supply piped directly into their homes from a source 24 kilometers north of the town. True, there are attendant costs involved in the treatment and pumping which homeowners must pay, currently $5 for 1,000 liters, but even this is heavily outweighed by the supremely energy-efficient homes.
Question 7. What are the 3 advantages of being a homeowner in Coober Pedy? What are the 3 advantages of being a homeowner in Coober Pedy?